Filmmaking is now more accessible than ever, as it should be, but with the popularity comes tons of people telling you what you should do and how you should do it. Film school, rules of film, all manner of rules and regulations that are supposed to determine how you create your projects. In this video, however, I've compiled my film experience into groups of helpful tips for new and experienced creators. Let's start by talking about cinematography. You can get really technical with this one, but today we're just going to talk about a few basic principles. Number one is the rule of thirds. I know I said I wouldn't give you any rules, but this one is very universal and it really works. You've probably heard of this before, but in case you need a refresher, the idea is that you divide your shot into 9 equal sections using lines, and then you place your subject and points of interest on these lines and/or their intersections. For example, in this shot from Inception, Leonardo DiCaprio is on the right of the frame, aligned with the right line. Something that's really stuck with me is the concept of putting the audience where they don't want to be. The idea is that you have an awful villain, or a dangerous area, or something disgusting, basically wherever you wouldn't want to be in real life, and you slowly push the camera towards it. It sucks the audience in and puts them on the edge of their seats. It also makes them perfectly primed for a jump scare, if that's what you're going for. If you're interested in different ways to manipulate the feelings of the audience, definitely stick around for the final section of this video. A quick bonus tip for villains is to mess with their eye lights. Depending on where you put a light in the scene, it can add or remove the lights in and around the eye sockets. This can be really great if you want to foreshadow a villain arc, or really whatever you can think of. It's just something I found neat. So to wrap up this section on cinematography, I think I should talk about lighting just a bit. To make a basic lighting setup, you'll need 2 to 3 things. 1, a key light, usually positioned about here off to the side in the front of the actor. It's usually the brightest light. For the second light, you will use a fill, which is over to the other side or close to the camera, and it's a little bit dimmer. It just serves to fill in the harsh shadows that are created by the key light. And then third, you have the backlight, usually positioned behind the subject. It creates a beautiful glowing edge on the actor. It looks really nice. You can get away with all or none of these lights, and you don't have to use this method to get a beautiful shot. It's simply a common and suggested method for filming people. Next, we'll move on to storytelling. These sections are ordered mostly from least to most important, so if you want to get the most out of this video, be sure to stick around till the end. Or don't. I just aim to provide you with an honest and practical set of tools to make movies that people are proven to enjoy. Alright, that concludes my little disclaimer. Actual content from here on out. So, storytelling. Probably the most important element of film, even though it's what I'll spend the least time on here. To create a good story the audience will connect with, you need to include 3 parts: a hero, a goal, and an obstacle that keeps the hero from achieving the goal. This is the way we've been telling stories for thousands of years, and it obviously works. You can think about the story in 3 acts. The first act includes the setup of the hero and the goal. The second includes several obstacles that the hero either overcomes or fails to overcome. The third and final act includes the resolution, falling action, and wrap-up of the story. This format is very effective as it mimics the human life and experiences. But there are many other schools of thought on the act structure, but easily the most widely used is the 3-act. Breaking these rules, however, has created some really interesting and engaging films, so as with all of these other tips, feel free to completely disregard them if you could think of something better. And finally, we have audience experience. The idea here is to make your audience feel a certain way and give them a rewarding and satisfying experience from watching your film. One great way to do this is to introduce a characteristic in a character that shows up multiple times throughout the film. Say you have a character who is always chewing bubblegum. Oh, and he's also a serial killer. So, you show said serial killer, let's call him Jeff, a couple of times with bubblegum throughout the movie until the audience becomes familiar with that characteristic. Jeff and bubblegum, bubblegum and Jeff. Somewhere later in the film, you could see people enjoying a movie or a nice dinner. And then outside of the house, you see a close-up of a gum wrapper falling and you hear a pop. The audience should pick up on, oh, that's Jeff, he's going to murder those people. Extreme example, but you get the point. The audience will be so pleased with themselves, if just subconsciously, for picking up on this, that it'll lead to a satisfying and more deeper enjoyment of your film. Eliciting responses like this is a great way to improve your film and increase audience approval. Okay, I have one final tip for you now that could really help you out with your filmmaking journey. Do some research. Look into a scene you love, and I am sure you can find a video essay on why it's so good. If there's one thing you should take away from this video, it's that you can do it. Go get started right now and make an amazing film. If you want to see more videos like this and tutorials on more specific aspects of filmmaking, be sure to subscribe and stick around to improve your filmmaking skills.